Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Agent Psycho, and we're going to be sitting down to listen to me rant and rate. No, just kidding. This is going to be a third episode of. God damn it, Skype. Of the my series, a little bit of commentary, mini sit-down commentary series called that I like to call it "To Hell with KDR." Basically, if you guys don't, if this is your first episode tuning in to this series, then it's basically just a series about me talking about random topics, more towards like more deeper topics. Like the last two were Mother's Day and graduation. My own, like a little bit of talking about how I fail as a human being in terms of being social and whatnot and gregarious and whatnot. But that's, you guys can check out that episode. The episodes tend to be pretty long. I mean, the first episode itself was going on for 33 minutes. I had to break that into three parts, so that gives you a little bit of idea of how much I can actually talk about these things. But anyways, this episode is going to be another very long episode in my in my mind anyway. I've got a lot to talk about on this one, and our topic for today is kind of like a medley of topics, but the overarching theme for this episode is going to be about friends and relationships, and I'm just going to be talking about, what I think of friends, what my take on it is, and basically my experiences with them. So hope you guys will enjoy that. So anyways, to be honest, I don't know really where to start. But for now, I guess I'll start with, the past week. There have been a lot of things going on throughout the past weekend, as you guys, or as most of you guys know. I've just recently come back from Anime Expo, and when I went to Anime Expo, I went with other guys, four other guys who happen to be my friends as well. Some of them deeper friends, others not so. Well, I don't want to say it's not so good friends, because that may imply that, I have some qualms with them, but I really don't. They're just either friends of friends or, my own friends. So, yeah, we went to Anime Expo all together, and we had a good time there. And, yeah, I really do feel that just going with friends was overall very much so better experience than just going alone. That's for damn sure. I'm not going to deny that by any means. So, but also what happened during that week, I think the third day, or the day that we, no, actually I know what happened. The day on day 4, when we came back from Anime Expo, back to our friend Carlos's house, to pack up and get ready to go back to our own houses. I got a message from a friend that I know over TeamSpeak. The name of that TeamSpeak server and the name of the actual guy himself will not be disclosed. For confidentiality reasons, and he told me that another friend of ours was not going to be online, like a friend I regularly like to talk to. I asked him, well, why not? Did something happen? And he told me that there was a family emergency, and immediately my heart sank. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this feeling of like the feeling of you're fucking screwed, like the feeling that you get when you're caught with your pants down, when you're caught in the middle of an act. I got the same feeling when I first heard that, when there was a serious family emergency that my friend was involved in. When I saw that message, literally I felt like my heart went from my chest all the way down to my feet, and like someone just threw like a cold bucket of Gatorade all over me, like they do in football games, which I actually would have liked, because that day was actually pretty hot. It was like pretty much 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it was kind of blazing hot, but it wasn't the good kind. So yeah, stuff happened. I've been in contact with that particular friend, and trying to see if I could, do anything to help them. But anyways, I'll get into that later, maybe, I don't know, but in any case, that's just what happened, and I just thought that, just so many things happened at the same time. I just gotta talk about it. I have to get this off my chest to share it with you guys. There's just so many things going on at the same time that this making this video will help me reorganize my thoughts, and clarify my own personal set of beliefs, and make sure that, is this what you believe in? Is this what I believe in? Yes, it is, and we'll damn well talk about it. So here we go. So, friends. First off, I'm gonna have to start off this discussion about friends, about me being alone. Now, I've already covered this before in my previous videos or my previous episodes of Hell with KDR. I've already mentioned, like I mentioned before, I'm a loner. That's just how it's gonna be. I'm a natural loner. I'm that kid who sits in the back of the room, twiddling his thumbs, biting his nails, looking down at something else. Not really what you imagine me to be looking at, but anyways, I'm just that awkward loner, the awkward turtle sitting in the back of a room, being that good Asian nerd, studying and taking notes, being quiet, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's just if you guys didn't know me by now. I'm sure most of you guys do know that I am an Asian nerd who sits at the computer all day. Sorry about this. I drink some water. So yeah. I don't know. There's not really much to it. I'm just a loner, and I'm pretty sure that's just how the rest of my life is going to be. So much so that my friend Protagonist always called me the Forever Alone Man, and I honestly can't dispute that, because that to a point, in essence, that's probably as accurate as you can get talking about me. So yeah, as much as I don't really like being called the Forever Alone Man, that's just the truth, and I guess I just have to, stick with it. Because, I mean, I don't deny the truth. That's for sure. And, the thing about being alone, though, is that I may talk about, like the whole aspect of being a loner and what solitude can do to you on a in a later episode. Yeah, I think I'll do that later. But just for now, just know that, me being alone, and in terms of how I go about with my friends, or just the interaction between the concept of me being alone and the concept of friends, how they work together is the fact that because I'm so alone, I usually am not exposed to different experiences of talking to other people. Because I'm a loner, I tend to get very defensive. I'm a very, very sarcastic idiot, and most of you can attest to that. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a guy somewhere out there in the comments who didn't have the jolly old experience of having some sort of comment being sarcastically replied to by me. So, yes, I am indeed a sarcastic little bitch, because of the fact that, I haven't had the chance to talk to many people, because either I think talking to other people is overrated, or I just don't like the crowd around me, so I just don't even bother, going and making, or I don't even bother putting out my time and my energy, going out of my way to, make more friends, because I don't think it's particularly worth my time. Because of that, and the fact that, I just don't know how to talk to people, in other words, and, make new or what am I trying to say? Establish new relationships like very easily. I can't do that. So whenever I try to make friends, or whenever I make friends for that matter, if that ever happens, it has to come naturally. Either there needs to be like some really, really big similarity between me and the person that I'm trying to make friends with, or it just needs to happen over time. Like in my videos, in my anime extra videos, you guys have probably seen that white kid with glasses whose name is also Paul. We call him White Paul, and funnily enough, about him a little bit, he was actually in my physics class last year when I was a junior in high school. I didn't know that guy. He sat in the back, I sat somewhere in the middle, and I knew who he was. Like, I knew he was in my physics class, but only was it earlier this year, in pretty much the beginning of my senior year, where I actually got to know him a little bit better. And throughout the year, it just so happened that we became friends, and we just managed to know each other really, really well. And I never would have thought that, because in the beginning, I was just like, oh, he's that guy from my physics class last year, and because we were sitting at the same table, and because I was bored, I was like, hey, weren't you in my physics class last year? And he was like, oh yeah, I remember you were the other Paul. So we were like, we have the same name, how funny. And it just basically took off from there, and we just became really good friends. But I have to tell you guys, that's a really, really rare experience for me. That does not happen every day. That does not happen even every year, to be honest, because those kinds of instances I feel very fortunate to have, because I've only had a few of them. The most notable ones being obviously White Paul and Protagonist, and I just are very we just seem to be very, very meant for each other. Not in the homo way, but just in terms of friends in general. We just seem to be very much so in tune with each other, and I just feel that we understand each other relatively well. I'm not saying like really well, because I don't know what Protagonist might be thinking, but still, I just want to let you guys know that me making friends is not the easiest thing in the world. In fact, you winning the lottery is probably more probable than me trying to go out there and make friends on a daily basis. So there you go. And because of that, I obviously don't have that many friends. I more like have acquaintances, like people and like because of work, of school, of something like that, and be like, oh hey, you're that guy from earlier. Hey, how you doing? And stuff like that. But as for friends, the only friends that I have are really, really close friends, like White Paul, Protagonist, other people like that. Like really, really close friends. I've been Skype calls with Larry, if you guys don't know, like Caro Satan, the other Combat Arms YouTubers, Arctic Dropshot, 3G, Caro, UCD. I've been in Skype calls with them, sure, and I don't mean to sound offensive to them, or I don't want to sound like I don't want to come off like a dick, but they're not really friends, if you understand, because they're just guys who happen to be in the same business as I am. Not really, I shouldn't really say business, but they're in the same field, and we're all YouTube commentators. We're all pretty well known, and we get together because we have this good idea. We want to do some commentaries. We want to eventually do like a mega commentary someday, sometime, and that's why they're my acquaintances. They're for lack of a better term, they're my colleagues, but they're not exactly friends, because although it's cool being around with them and all, and being in the same Skype call, and we all talk with each other and laugh and rage at each other, and well, not really rage. I do the raging, but and we have a good time. They're not exactly my friends still. I mean, I would like to liken it to the fact that, you're working in an office one day with your company, and, you get an invitation to go out and eat and drink with your other colleagues, and you take the invitation, you go out there, get a little bit drunk, but have a good time anyway. But it's kind of like that in my imagination. And I don't know if the other guys will really become my friends, like on YouTube. Like, I know Woody's Gamertag and T-Mart are really good friends, because not only do they know each other, and not only do they have like the same profession, because they actually make money off their Call of Duty videos, but they've done lots of things together. Not that way, but they've done game battles together. They've done commentaries together, whatnot. So they know each other very well, and I would take a guess that they are actually pretty good friends. However, it's just not the same way with me. These guys, even though they're getting there, if I'm pretty sure if I come to know them a lot more, then by all means, I'm pretty sure they could become like my close friends as well. Being able to talk with them with things that you just can't talk with just people you just call your acquaintances. But will that time ever come? I'm not too sure. But anyways, I've gone off on a tangent with this, but it's just background information for what I want to talk about later along in this video. And already it's like 14 minutes in, so god damn, this is gonna be a long video. So that being said, naturally I like to carefully pick my friends. First, I don't really have like a requirement list. Like, I meet someone new, I want to make a friend with them, I just like pull out like a sheet, like I said, okay, so you gotta be interested in Toho, you gotta play Combat Arms, you gotta be around my same age, you gotta go to the same school. No, there's nothing like that. If you're a cool person and I like you, chances are I will consider you like a good friend, and most of the time it's a one-shot deal. If I don't like you, you're probably not gonna have a chance of being liked by me, for lack of a better term, anytime soon, unless unless you do something that shows me that, well, maybe there's more to this guy than I think. So, and consequently will make me change my mind. But for the most part, if I don't like you, then sorry, but the most will ever be are like acquaintances. So the people, it's like I said, or not really like I said, because I haven't mentioned this before, but there's a luck factor involved to me making friends. And even though this ensures that the crowd that I hang out with is the crowd that I want to hang out with, the crowd that I feel comfortable in, at the same time, it's not a very big crowd at all. So it is kind of like a double-edged sword for me. Like, well, do you want to hang out with people who you really, really know, you really, really like, and they all like you and respect you in return, and they know what's up. If you got a problem, they're always there to help you out and stuff like that. And they don't really mind what they've got to do. Well, kind of. Protagonist and I, it's a weird relationship between him and I. Maybe I can explain it later, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. But for right now, for all purposes of this commentary video, it's just protagonist and I are close friends. That there's no denying that. We do a lot of things together. No, not the homo way. And I mean, we went with each other or we went together to Anime Expo. We were the ones who set up this whole Anime Expo thing up, pretty much. And I mean, if you're not close friends, I don't know how well you'd be able to pull that off. So, yeah, I'm just trying to say here that the fact that I'm alone most of the time and the fact that I don't have many friends causes me to be a little bit selective about my friends and just be careful about the people who I hang with, because obviously I don't want to hang out with a crowd of druggies or people who you can take a look at and say, oh well, it's kind of iffy. He's kind of iffy. Yeah, I don't want to hang out with that crowd, but people like Protagonist, people like White Paul, they're cool, and I really like the fact that I really do enjoy the company, and I don't really mind if they come over at any time. So that's me and my friends, basically. Albeit I don't really have a lot of them, which that's understandable, because I mean there can be only so many friends you can have, and you know like a lot about them, and you consider them your close friends. It'd be kind of weird if you had a lot of friends and you knew all of them like really, really well, because if that's the case, then I kind of really doubt the fact that you're working at all, and you're just out having parties and shit like that. Well, that's also another thing. But anyways, that's just my take on it. So, and yeah, that being said, I just want to move on to my next my next topic that I want to talk about in this like whole video of friends, because I've actually written down what I want to talk about here, just to make sure that I don't forget about what I want to talk about. And that's what I think of like friends and relationships between my friends. You have to remember that, like I mentioned before, the friends that I have are all close friends, people I can trust with things that I don't really, want to trust other people with. At the same time, though, within this tightly knit circle of close friends, there's also an inner circle of friends, among which Protagonist is one of. Unfortunately, White Paul isn't necessarily within that inner circle. I don't know. I'm starting to sound. I feel like I'm starting to sound like some sort of mafia gang. Oh, that's my water bottle, by the way. I shouldn't shake it around. I feel like I'm becoming I'm talking like as if I'm some sort of mafia boss gang, and like picking off like friends here and there. But really, I don't really know how best to explain this. There are within my circle of close friends, there are friends that I like more than others, and what I think of my relationships with other friends is that, like, take for example the friendship between me and my friend White Paul. He and I are good friends. There's no doubt about that. We're good friends. We trust each other with things that we might not really trust others with, because we understand each other. We're about the same age. We've both graduated from the same school. We've been together a lot. We've been through. I wouldn't really want to say we've been through a lot, as if we're like a badass pair of people who've gone through the grips of time to save the world. No, it's nothing like that. But still, we've done things. We've done things together, we've did things together, and we know each other pretty well. No, not the homo way. I must emphasize that every single time I say that. But at the same time, I've only known him for a year. Maybe if I actually get to know him a little bit more over the years, maybe he'll become more than just a friend like this. Maybe even more one of my closer friends, like Protagonist is. But just White Paul, if you're listening to this, I know sometimes you watch my videos, but I'm not trying to, insult you or anything. I'm not trying to diss you, but to be honest, this is really what I think. You're not really a friend. Oh, jeez, my computer is falling asleep. You're not really a friend, like a really, really close friend. You're a close friend, no doubt about that. But you're not as close of a friend as, say, Protagonist is. Just because of the fact that I've known Protagonist a lot more for a lot longer of a time, thus I can trust him with things I don't trust for example, other friends with. So it's also because of that my mentality on friends is that unless you're a rare exception, and there are a few exceptions to this, is that if you don't benefit me, then there's not really much that I consider you as a friend. I just more like see you as an acquaintance of some sort. So, I know that sounds really, really douchey, but that's pretty much a relationship between me and Protagonist. If there's no gain for us, or unless we have a specific reason why we want to do something for our friends, then we're not probably gonna do it. Like, this is kind of a funny thing, but Protagonist and I never share money with each other. Like, we don't just outright give each other money unless it's like their birthday or something. We always demand our money back, and that's just how it's gonna be. We don't question that because we're just like that. We're just the type of people who, even amongst friends, we don't carry any favors. I mean, we do, but it's gotta be for our own benefit. We have to benefit from it as well. For example, if Protagonist wants me to pick up some NX for him, I'll be like, sure, but you're gonna have to pay me back later. So and he's like, okay, sure, yeah, that's cool. Or unless he's like, oh hey, can you send me some cases because there's a sale going on, but I don't have any NX. I'll pay you back later. So I'm like, okay, sure, fine. That's cool. Because I know he'll be able to pay me back. But if you're trying to ask me to do something for you for free, you better have a damn good reason as to why. Otherwise, I'm not down for it. Because White Paul is kind of an exception to that. Because I really like him as a person. And that's why I did a lot of things for him. For example, when we were going to Anime Expo on day 0, some of you guys have already seen that, seen the videos on the day 0 footage of me, or not really me actually driving him, because I can't really record about driving. I did one for one segment, but that was kind of bad. What happened was I actually drove my dad's car to White Paul's house to pick him up and drop him off at our friend Protagonist's house so that we could all go together. And normally I don't do that for people, because not only does it waste my gas money, because sometimes I do need to pay for that gas myself, but also he kind of lives a little bit far away from me. I mean, if you only lived like maybe a block away, then sure, fine, it doesn't matter. I mean, how much gas am I really losing from that? But he lives a little bit far away, and driving there is yeah, it's kind of time consuming, especially when I need to go down a particular road where it's been like really fucked up for a month now because of well, not really, because I don't really expect most of you guys to know, but there's a major road that goes into my town that pretty much it's either that road or another major road, and one of them is down for road construction, and that really fucks up the traffic because it really slows it down a lot, and I have no choice but to go down that road because that's the fastest road I can take to be able to go to the neighboring city that that White Paul lives in. So, god damn it, Skype. But anyways, I hope you guys really see what you guys really hope you guys see what I mean by this. I can't talk now. God, I've been talking for too much. Water time. All right, there we go. Hopefully, I'll be able to speak a little bit more coherently. So hopefully, you guys understand what I'm trying to get at. I want friends with benefits, basically. So if you don't hold a particular benefit for me, or if you don't stand out to me as a really good person, like that I like and I want to be with, then unfortunately for you, you're probably not gonna have a chance of, being one of my closer friends. And I really don't like how I'm setting this up to be like some sort of exclusive club, because that's really not what I want to try to get at here. But I just can't help it, but I just can't help but describe it like that because that's honestly how my mind works. That's how my brain registers my group of my small amount of friends, because that's just how I roll. And unfortunately for you, if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you don't have to be my friend. You can just be, acquaintance, free hugs, but you're not gonna be my friend. So, yeah, I know this kind of sounds really dickish on my part, but that's just how it's gonna roll. I'm just that kind of a weird person. So I'm sorry if I've offended some of you, but I just don't really like making friends that much, because also another thing that comes with friends is that if I have more friends, then that's more obligations. They want me to do things for them. They're gonna have these things that I'll get myself involved in, whether I want to or not, and that takes more and more of my time, when my time is precious to me, and my time I could much better use my other time making videos, writing my fan fiction, working on schoolwork and stuff like that. So if I have more friends, then I don't know. It'll invariably cut into my own time and eventually leech the amount of time that I have for myself. And I don't really want that. I really want to make sure that my friends, who I know and really want to hang out with, don't really pose much of a burden to myself. So yeah. Ooh, I just got an expired notice. So yeah. That's just how it's gonna be, and that's my take on what I think of my relationship with my friends is. So unless you can give me something that I value, or unless you're a really good person that I really want to hang out with, you're out of luck. So there you go. So what I'm trying to go with this after all that talk is what I'm willing to do for my friends and the consequences that I'm willing to go through for those friends. If you haven't been one of those closer friends, then yeah, I will definitely, no question, do things for you, do favors for you. That's just how it's gonna be. If I like you as a person, if I know you'll give me something in return, then I will help you. I will help you, no question. It's almost like a blank check kind of thing. So, like, for example, if someone asks me for money, like especially at Anime Expo, I've had a couple instances where couple people that I've met at Anime Expo were like, "Oh, hey, dude, can you lend me some money?" So I was like, "Well, are you gonna pay me back?" And they're like, no. So I was like, well, if you're not gonna pay me back, then why are you asking me for money? So they were like, oh, because we heard that you had lots of money, and we kind of wanted something for ourselves. Preface? But yeah, that's not gonna happen. Just. But if you are one of those people, like Protagonist and White Paul, for example, I've gone through a lot for White Paul. I've gone through a lot for him, in terms of getting his tickets, because his mom, his White Paul's mom was initially really against him going to Anime Expo, because like she's really busy with her work and stuff, so she doesn't have time to drive him back and forth from home and to LA and whatnot. So we arranged for him to actually stay with us at Carlos's house, and although she was like, well, I don't know this person, eventually she was like, okay, I give in, you guys can go with him, but I'm not gonna take you there. So what I had to end up doing is, not only did I had to buy his tickets for him using my parents' credit card, which could have gotten me screwed, royally screwed, but also I had to, on the day, like I mentioned before, on day 0, I drove him back to our house so that we could all go together in one car. That's just the kind of thing that I'm willing to go through for people like him, for people I know who are good friends.